Welcome to another Learn, Grow, Invest video. I'm Jermaine, co-founder for this community. This video is going to be just another one of our weekly stock market updates. Now, the title of the video is usually the company that we're going to highlight, but we're going to go through some of the updates, talk about some of the things that we've seen on the market this week, highlight maybe some of the dividend announcement, just anything that we might find interesting about what has happened in the market this week. There are a couple of things that we want to start adding to this segment. So we want your feedback first, though. Tell us what are some of the things you'd like us to add to this discussion each week. Let us know some of the topics you'd like us to discuss. Maybe certain aspects of the video could be improved. I'd want to hear from you. So let me know in the comments, not in the chat, but in the comments below the video so that we can work on those things. All right. So let me get started in our usual fashion by a word of prayer. Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you that we're able to meet as a community. Thank you that you have given us the ability to produce wealth. So, Lord, we pray that you will bless this community and allow us to all learn, grow, and invest together. In your name we pray. Amen. All right. All right, guys. So I did not do what I normally do and share this video before. This is kind of impromptu. So I'll ask you to just share the video since you're here and be sure to like the video as well. All right, so let us start with iCreate, right? That seems like a good place to start. I'm going to be joined by David Rose shortly, so just give him a few minutes and he'll join me on screen. So we're looking at iCreate, right? So it had a very, very interesting week. And so, yeah, there's a lot to talk about for this one. So let's see where it is right now. Right, so I like to look at how companies started the year. So right about the start of the year, let's see, January 3rd, first trading day was 87 cents. And interestingly enough, it was 87 cents earlier this month, right? Because I remember looking at the company, when we were talking about it in the group, I wanted to check it out. And I saw where it was 87 cents sometime in April, right? So let me see. Yeah, here we go. Sometime in April, it was around 87 cents. So for the last 4 months or so, relatively no activity. We've seen some volume here. So on the 25th of November last year, 1 million units. 1 million units here, January 19th. But on average, you're not really seeing a large number of volumes, right? So that's what we've been seeing. But over the last couple of days, right? And I like to look at this to see what has been happening, right? So from about the start of the month, we noticed that the volume, let's say about the second week of April, we started to see an increase in volumes. And that's one of the things I look for. This one definitely stood out to me on April 12th, that 2.5 million units. And so this is one of them that I've been looking at very closely. And if you're in our Telegram group, the guys were getting very excited about this one, just talking about it. So I'm sure some of them are here that, are very, very happy to see what has been happening here. But again, our point here is just to kind of present you with the information. We're definitely not telling you to, this is a perfect time to actually, let me just put up this disclaimer just in case, right? So anything, and I'm sorry to just put it in the middle of the video, but anything that I discuss here is for discussion, entertainment, education, and illustrative purposes only, and should not be construed as professional financial advice, solicitation, or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that we discuss here. Had to make that clear. All right. So let's continue. Right. So the week to date is 146%. Year to date, 293%, right? And we saw where it was 80. It started there around 88 cents, 87 cents. And it ended today at 305, I believe, traded as high as $3.16, right? So we're gonna try and figure out why. Let's look at what might have been released about the company. Let me check if David, how are you doing? Ready to go? All right. Hey David, welcome.
Night everybody. It's been quite a week, to say the
Yeah,
least.
yeah. So I mean, we have two things that I saw when I check out the archives for iCreate. So I mean, the first thing I noticed this week was the delay of the audited financial statements. I think we're all waiting on that. Let me see what this notice says.
One thing I found interesting, which I
Mhm.
cannot confirm. Open the document, by the way.
Okay.
And this is why I tell you all the time that it's a difficult thing. So look at the date right there for the note to the delay, right? Do you know what I mean? No, scroll back up to the word delays.
Oh
So,
wow.
so
Okay.
what I was pointing out was that, and although one of our members in the group said something about, JC forgot to post it, I was going to say that it's a possibility because the JSC has been dropping the ball in all honesty exceptionally well in these last couple of weeks. So, for example, the JSC forgot to post a release that was put out on Trinidad. So imagine I go on Trinidad and find Jamaican news, but I can't find it in the JSC. And it wasn't in the JSC. I had to contact the company to tell them, hey, can you please tell the JSC with the news for the shareholders and public, please? And then error scanning in JSC's weekly bulletins, there's some error with the dividends. So one week they put the wrong company. It was Scotia Jamaica. They put SJ, Sagicor Jamaica. For
Mhm.
carrying assurance brokers, they mix up the dates, the X date and the record date.
So
Uh,
the question I have, David, if it was released, then does that mean there is still, well, it says on or before April 30th. So, I mean, it would have been due when?
so iCreate had originally sent to the JSC. You know what Tyron had tweeted that they were intending to submit their unaudited financials within the 45-day window.
Yeah.
And let me just explain it to person. So the JSC gives you two options to submit your financials, and Massey actually made a put well there was a Massey disclosure today showing an example whereby you can either choose to submit your audited financials within 60 days or submit an unaudited Q4 within 45 days at the end of the quarter and an audited financials within 90 days at the end of the period. So what I
Okay.
originally tried to do was submit, I believe, within the 60-day window. So that's what was I to try to do. But, you know, sorry, as I said,
Yeah.
you had previously up to something's unaudited quarterly results for its fourth quarter. And I don't want to wait here 60 days and then the said quarter because it would have just been audited financials, not unaudited Q4. So that's where I've seen a little differential here in the disclosure because if you're up to submit your unaudited financials for Q4, so I mean 45 is in the quarter and then audited in over 90 days. But the thing is, the JSC since COVID has given companies this 45-day extra window for submitting annual reports and financials. So that's what iCreate was basically in essence giving this kind of window to publish the results much later, in this case April 30.
Okay.
So by next week, not next week actually,
Yeah.
by
Yeah. We're a week away.
no, next Saturday, I should say actually, next Saturday, we should expect to see the art financials being released then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is why I really say that, you have to sit down and understand the nuances because the JSC is dropping the ball and you as a shareholder or a person in the public has to be careful what you're reading. So, Jermaine, I'll go to the JSC news again and just go to the wiki bulletin.
Here?
No, go, no, go to JSC news, jamstackx.com/news. If you try to press newsroom, you get messed up. Trust me. You have to only know the old link references to get around JSC still. So scroll down and look for the weekly bulletin, right? Let me see if that's the original one.
This says April 22nd. So this is dated today.
Yeah, so look at the SPL dividend and tell me if you see an error.
Oh.
Look at the index farmer dividend and tell me if you see an error.
I have nothing to say, David. You know, SVL is not a company that we speak about. So I mean,
No, but look at indies then. Look at indies
unfortunate.
then. Look
It
at
is
indies then.
unfortunate. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So we'll speak about indies here. All right. So And I saw a person speaking about this in the group as well. It is not an $11 dividend, but in fact an 11 cent.
Ah,
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
and
That's
that is why I said. So the reason I'm highlighting this is to kind of show investors that in this case, our stock exchange is still what you'd call a developing stock exchange because these are some errors that should not be happening,
yeah,
especially since they get the original release. And we saw the original release, in this case, later sent to the JSC and it's at 11.3 cents.
yeah. It did. I saw that. Okay.
So, it's really sad because, your persons are going to probably see this and be like, $34 dividend and it's actually for $34, or look at indies and say, a dividend that is twice stock price. The only time I actually see it happen in the JSC before was with Siboney when they declared a dividend for 34 cents when the stock price was 8 cents.
Yeah.
So you could buy this stock because the dividend, and you can hold
Is
it if you want because the dividend will outweighs the stock by miles.
is this correct for the payment date for FESCO? Because this is
Yes, that is actually
almost
correct.
2 months. Okay.
No, so the thing is, remember, some companies, for example, will declare dividends long out in the future for two
Yeah.
reasons: cash flow and also timing on results. So if you
Okay.
actually monitored, for example, the Signals dividend declarations, right? But Signals, you always see them say dividend record date or whatever in March. For example, like March 2022,
Mm-hmm.
but payable in April, in this case, April 5 or even April 1. And the reason for that is because when you present in your financials, you can deduct equity or you can just have it represented in payables, but you won't necessarily uh, reduce your cash flow and in turn you'll see your cash balance. You understand?
Okay. Okay.
So that's why companies do it in such a way. Jeremy, JSC theory. Use the search bar over there and type in Signals. Use the search bar.
So I mean, David, I get you, and I mean, there's some things that definitely could be improved because I haven't spoken to the JSC directly. I mean, I just yeah, I mean, my stance where those things are concerned already. All right,
You
so
know what
let's
my stance is because I
yeah,
call these things up because persons watching right now are going to be like, oh, that wasn't a $34 dividend. Oh,
yeah,
your present
yeah.
April cancel my order.
Man, I get you. Exactly. I got you. All right, so let's bring it back to
The,
iCreate.
the
So
two the two
two,
acquisitions they did in the week or
yeah,
announced this week, I should say. And that's
yeah,
interesting that as stock runs up, it's with disclosures coming at the same time. Like
yeah. So I figure you know a little bit about the background here. So you wanna
no, I didn't get a chance to actually read it, but
okay. All right, so
no, no. So
let's
I think what I would do is I would just go and look at the company's office search in order to actually see how long this company has been around.
okay. So web search.
No, this company's office company search.
Yeah.
And for those wondering, uh, if you want to check out information, about companies and so forth, who are the major shareholders or who are the directors, it's actually on the company's office of Jamaica's website. Similarly to how the National Land Agency, you can actually go on their website and check who actually owned a particular piece of property. So Key
What's the name
Insurance
of
sold their property, or in the case a parking lot, to another GK company. And that's public information, you understand? You have to just pay for it, but still, you have tools that are available here in Jamaica for, and if it's a company's office, like $50 you have to pay to access it sometimes, the full details. And this can actually help you in terms of, you doing your research. So you're not seeing Get Paid Limited come up. All right.
Mhm.
Let
Is
me
it is it a local company?
And that's the I'm about to say. Let me check and see if I see it on Pinnacle.
Yeah.
And for those wondering what Pinnacle is, it's a website uh, with respect to St. Lucian international business companies.
Okay.
What does that
Let me
mean?
just let me just do a quick read of the notice. Maybe it
Sure, do
says
that in the
something.
meantime while I search. Can you do that in the
Yeah.
meantime while I search?
All right. All right. So it says iCreate Limited has acquired a majority stake in e-commerce company Get Paid Limited. The details of the acquisition has not yet been disclosed, so we're awaiting details of that. but is touted as a pivotal part of the company's turnaround strategy. So it says here, iCreate has an aggressive mergers and acquisition strategy as a part of their Opportunity Ventures division that was disclosed at the recently held AGM in January. They see Get Paid Limited as an opportunity to tap into a new market while staying true to their vision, which is to aid in the development in the digital and creative economy. And I thought this was interesting to note because a few persons have been wondering why the change. I thought they thought their focus is education, etc. And and that's why you need to attend AGMs, right? Because they spoke about it there. So this wouldn't be a surprise for those who would have attended it and listened to what they were saying there. So Leighton Campbell, President and CEO of Get Paid, added, they've been working with Tyrone in the capacity of chairman of their company for the last few years. His understanding and appreciation for the services offered is one that gave them good comfort. They're enabling the expansion of digital payments and digital communication space. A part of that. The iCreate team enables them to achieve this vision at a faster pace. All right, so essentially we don't know the details of the acquisition as yet. We are definitely going to be needing to see more before we can comment on the details of it. So that's the first one. I'll wait for David to see if he finds details about the company.
So it's not in St. Lucia. I'm gonna check Barbados because I'm mentioning Barbados because remember L.E.A.R.N, which is owned by Victoria Mutual Investments Limited, is based in Barbados.
What I would sometimes do is just search for the company owner. So if I know the owner, maybe I can at least find a company website or something.
No, but the thing is, and companies obviously supposed to up to date all the time. So that is why I said, I'm surprised I didn't see it on company's office immediately.
Yeah, there's actually a few Get Paid, and let me actually stop sharing my screen. I don't want to click on something and see something that I don't want to be shared live. Let me see here. This looks like an Asian company. So
Get Paid Limited is listed in Jamaica. So it's
in Jamaica. You want to share your screen?
Sure. Give me a second.
Yeah.
And I see the comment a while ago about, how Tyrone, in this case, the CEO of iCreate, is always trying to innovate. And the thing is, end of the day, a company has to grow or is in a tough spot. It's gonna find a way to survive. So I just have to Get Paid Limited into Google, and I see it says 7 Gorwood Terrace, which is near. Actually, apparently it's near Gunson Springs side, and it says Get Paid Limited is an innovative software firm that empower business teams to service customers anywhere, anytime, 24/7.
Okay. Zoom into that. Let's see that.
Sure.
I found something here as well, an article about them in 2020. Oh, page you're looking for does not exist.
Observer?
Yeah, Jamaica Observer article.
All right, give me a second. I know what to do.
A company called Mobile Edge Solution launches Get Paid app to facilitate our local. Yeah, that's a page I found as well.
So give me a second. Website upgraded this week, so I'm not sure why it's still messy, but you can see. So the thing is, it's basically a broken connection between the redirect.
There you go.
So Mobile Edge Solution launches Get Paid app to facilitate 48 our local e-commerce payouts. And iCreate actually mentioned an acquisition about its company, I believe. So it's powered by Stripe.
Zoom in a little bit more.
Sure. Wait a second to connect. Like there's a little lag between my desktop and but you can still see the article in terms. I'll just read. So the upgrade the unique platform now allows business owners to try payment in a GMB account within 72 hours as they conduct and collect sales and payments online. Leighton Campbell, Chief Executive Officer of MES, who manages its day-to-day operations, commented on the app launch, said, We pivoted the service is to focus more on things that business owners need. The pandemic has lessened the pockets of most companies, and as such, they just spend less to get online and they need to get online faster. In response to that, we've had to strip down our website offerings to a more basic version of our e-commerce systems, and that gave birth to what we call Get Paid apps, which offers numerous e-commerce solutions.
Yeah, and I found their website as well. So when you finish, we can go through that.
Yeah, so it ranges from $100 US to $950 US, custom websites and apps. Whenever within 2 weeks, accept payments. And what I just recalled is that I believe, yeah, iCreate is actually approved by the DBJ as the approved institution. If that, if my memory serves me right.
Mhm. Oh, let me share then.
Oh, DBJ means Development Bank of Jamaica, by the way, guys.
Okay. So I found it's getmobileedge.com. That's where it seems to be. That's what led me to this site. Now get paid specifically, I didn't see much details on it. So get paid payments just brings you to here. So it seems like you have to reach out to them to find out really like what the services cost, etc. So these are just the overview of what the service is. So what would you compare this to, David? Based on accepting payments, payment gateway, account management. I'm wondering if it would be similar to like easy payments or something of that nature. I don't know if that's a fair comparison.
Well, what I was gonna say was it remind me of a WePay in
Ah,
essence.
okay.
Because the thing is, remember, WePay is basically the same thing in essence in terms of being a payment gateway to facilitate solutions. So, for example, Kalila Reynolds, says that she uses WePay for
Mm.
her website.
Ah, okay, okay. Yes, yes, I remember her saying that. Okay. Yes, I definitely want to hear more about this. See what they say about the
You want to check
company.
up pricing or pricing didn't come up?
It just said you have to,
Oh,
yeah,
understood.
DM for price.
So yeah, County. We're gonna speak about the 1834 news in a second. So
Man, and it seems to be the team. So CEO, president, director, and then Tyrone as chairman. It mentioned that before. So their executive span 3 geos and over 50 years combined experience. I'm trying to say companies, O'Shane Bryan Fitness, and these I guess these are some of their customers down here. Um,
so Jeremy, I just found some more news about Get Paid. The newly formed company, the joint venture of iCreate and Mobile Edge. So that's interesting.
mhm. Yeah,
So it's
man. I
technically
think we had said that before. I think we
it's
mentioned
about
that.
a joint venture though.
You want to share what you found?
Sure, give me a second.
Yeah. So Derby, we're gonna speak about as much as we can, but we'll try to keep these in about an hour. So let's see. It's definitely worth mentioning though. So we'll try to find some time to speak about it.
All right, so Jeremy, you see my screen right now?
No, you're not sharing it.
Oh, I forgot to press share. Sorry. Are
Yeah,
you
man.
seeing it now?
Yeah, man. It's loading.
Tell me when you see it.
Yeah, man. Seeing it now. Seeing it.
So you can see joint venture operation of iCreate and Mobile Edge, a company
Uh,
that iCreate recently acquired as it works to become less dependent on revenue from educational training.
okay. When was this released? This
This was
article?
released yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
All
it's a
right.
joint venture, which means that uh, so apparently iCreate acquired Mobile Edge. I need to look back for that article. I don't well, I'm not sure about this part right here, but if it's a joint venture, it will be accounted for under the equity method, whereby only the half of the net profit or loss, if
Yeah.
it's a 50-50 joint arrangement, will show up on iCreate's income statement.
Yeah. And that's why I want the details, right? Because hopefully see more about that. Okay, cool. So let's talk about the next one. The stake in the scent and development. So it
So
says here, yeah, go ahead.
no, share your screen. Remember, yeah. So I saw that, and I remember when it was, I believe it was December 2020 when there was iCreate AGM then, and they were talking about the creative city in Kingston, and then
Mm-hmm.
that fell through. Oh, and
Yeah,
for those wondering what 2-to-1 strategy is, at the AGM, they outlined that they want to achieve $2 million in revenue and $1 million in profit for 2022.
yeah,
So that's basically saying you want to achieve at least $310 million in revenue in GMD terms and 155 million GMD in net profit.
yeah. All right. So it says, let's see what else. This project will significantly boost near-term cash flows and profitability. Definitely one of the concerns persons have shared about iCreate. While we build our core business and other long-term income streams, the land has been purchased, all professionals hired, and drawings are in the process of being submitted. The project, Mr. Wilson advises, under 10 units, and therefore a NEPA submission will not be needed. It is proposed that 3 luxury bedroom condos will be located on the ground floor of the building, with two luxury 3-bedroom condos on the upper floor. Let's scroll on further. Our expected development that was announced for New Kingston for our creative city fell through based on the owner of the property taking another deal based on obligations that were pressing. This has forced them to take a step back and to plan a different approach. They are confident in the prospects of this deal and the approach they have taken, right? This is important to note as well. They are pleased how the ideas are put into execution and that they're in a position to provide value for their shareholders and will provide more details. So more details are needed, right? So and as you said, David, it was seemingly timely, right? Because I mean, investors were more than happy to see these news stories, especially this week. Why do I have tropical bookmarked? Oh, I create.
You can change the title. Oh, no worries, but you already found it.
I know you're always telling me to do that stuff.
Just change there. That's what I do. It's so much easier sometimes. Let me show you a mobile device. But what I was gonna say was, I'm surprised that iCreate didn't seek pre-approval before actually uh going for the full approval.
Okay, okay, I get you. I
No,
get you.
so for those wondering what I'm speaking about, so instead of you just purchasing the land and going to the municipal corporation, spending money on drawings and whatever, and be like, all right, can we develop this or whatever? You get
Mhm.
pre-approval based on what you intend to do, and you carry everything else after to get full approval. So that's why I just find it very odd because all they what they want to do, uh, we don't know how long until that approval comes through because for example, the KSMC, the Kingston St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, they were holding up or, basically held off on approvals or changes since December. So after, the great Twitter lawyer whapped them up in court. So, that's why I say it's a little interesting or concern.
Okay, okay. All right. So based on these two, I mean, it's. I'd love to see more details about the two piece of stories that we shared because really you can't say much about them. You want to hear more details, right? No, but it's
It's
not
basically blind. We're
uncommon.
basically blind in a sense.
Say again?
We're basically blind because it's not like you
Yeah,
have,
yeah,
for
yeah,
example, it's not like you have a queue for artists, the financials to basically guide a projection of how like person making money by trading the stock, but the
yeah.
long-term investor is kind of harder for you to gauge without some sort of
Exactly, exactly.
ability to.
And that's the thing, right? So you trading is one thing. If you're looking at a company long term, you want to hear more details. If you're a long term shareholder, it would definitely make sense to hear more first. We don't have more, so there's not much more to say. So once those financials come out, I know that Tyrone has agreed to join us here for a live session to go through the financials. So that would be good to go through.
So
Was the
Jermaine,
NGM from January released anywhere, David? For
so Jermaine, I was gonna say, I wrote an article in iCreate based on their AGM back in January. I can just share my screen and share part of that because
Yeah.
that's to be the only news that Well, you can actually, you don't have to. I don't have to share my screen. You can actually just type it into Google and just type in Jamaica Observer. So I create shifts gear Jamaica
Oh,
Observer.
yes. Um, I remember that article.
Yeah, that's the one.
So hope it works. Okay, perfect. All right. All right. So your article, you can walk us through it.
Yeah, so you can see basically the subtitle right there that says company plans acquisition and rights issue this year. So iCreate has basically been speaking. Trust me, I think I'm not sure to get rid of that display, but let's continue. So iCreate has basically spoken about rights issue this year. They have a lot of space to actually the rights issue, and for those wondering, because we're going to discuss something else later in discussion, but for context, junior market companies in the JSC have to raise a minimum of $50 million and have a maximum of $500 million in share capital, and iCreate only raised $55 million in their IPO. So they have a lot of space in essence to
Ah,
really, raise additional capital. And the thing is, in the case of Fastridge, somebody earlier today said, oh, Fastridge can raise $300 million because they started the company raised $200 million at their IPO. And I was like, Bridging, that's not how it works. I think the point to see that it says shared capital. And
yeah.
Bridging was like, is this? I'm like, no. Refer back to the prospectus, I'm like, no, G. Go back to the 2021 audited. And this was, that Fastridge had basically $360 million worth of share capital, which is basically around 130 to $140 million in capital that they can raise uh, since they want to stay in the junior market and retain the tax break. So, that I'm explaining this further for persons because I don't want persons become confused and be like, oh, company can raise $300 can only raise $200 at the IPO. No. So, even further context, in the case of JP, for example, although the JP offer was capitalized at $240 million, only half of that went to JFP, which means that them bought $380 million left in free share capital to actually raise the additional equity raises they want to do so and remain in the junior market.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to take that off the screen so persons don't think we're talking about what they're seeing.
No. So, all right. So, you kind of scroll down. So, they said that they're looking to pivot, come to the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah.
You see,
Which was very important, right? And I remember one of the things he said, they had closed their physical offices, right, which would help them maintain lower costs, and they were focused solely on digital delivery. So
yeah,
there was
because
that.
as Sarah pointed out, those expenses basically had taken up all of the gross profit before you even reach financing costs. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And it says, so what David had mentioned is before their 2-to-1 strategy. So they're targeting 2 million US in revenue and at least 1 million US in net profit. Bear in mind, this is targeting, right? And just like we see where other companies may do a projection, you really want to see now how the quarters are progressing to see whether or not they actually get to that goal, right?
yeah, so
So
they said they have guaranteed contracts. So, if the business earn that much revenue, they might not get paid.
yes, I remember this. So this was something. So of course, if you work for the company, I mean, I'm not sure how you'd feel about that, but this kind of gives them. I remember them speaking about managing costs and stuff like that. So this is something that would definitely help them with that. So minimum guarantee contracts, and all of it is really to help keep expenses low, right?
Yeah,
Um, this is where it mentions. So this when was this article released, David?
January 11, you'd have to scroll up.
January 11, right? So I pointed this out to somebody this week that this is how these stories go, right? David went to the AGM, wrote an article on this, right? So everything that we're seeing this week is not news, right? So it mentions iCreate plans acquisitions later this year. It completed acquisition of e-commerce company Mobile Edge in 2021 and will be looking to close out the acquisition of an advertising company. The advertising company part, which one Which one is that? Because that's not get paid. Because I think
No, the thing is, remember, I said in 2022, he never said when.
Yeah. So we still have time for that one. So maybe one more can be announced. Though he couldn't discuss the target, Wilson revealed that it earned US 1 million in revenue and had 35% profit margin. That's the advertising company specifically that they're talking about here,
Yes.
right? Yes. So bear in mind that that's not Mobile Edge.
And
And 75 million
$77 in free
free
cash
cash.
flow.
And then it's also plans to acquire the rights. Note the word again, plans. So I think that's still not confirmed as yet, right?
And you can scroll into further, and where it says iCreate in a letter of intent to acquire the business, everything due diligence to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And the target for the rights issue is $10 million now.
Okay. And later this year, right? So,
Yeah.
okay.
So
All right, it's
I
fine.
explain right here how the company converted this debt into preference shares.
Okay. That's our company corporate government. Okay. All right. So that means we have some more things to look out for them later on this year, right? The advertising company acquisition, the rights issue. So I guess investors have a lot to look forward to in terms of plans and things that are upcoming to be announced. So I guess we just have to
Yeah.
wait and see. As the
Yeah.
news comes out, we will cover it here and see
And
how it goes.
let me see what Derby County asked a while ago. So Jeremy, can you go back to the fast reach? Actually, go back to the fast reach disclosure from this week on the JSC, right?
Fast search disclosure. This so go to the same.
No, you can just use. Oh, wait. Actually, you can go back to the iCreate page right there. Go over to the not that one. The other one is it. The other one where it's the iCreate in it. Yeah, but you can just put fast search right there in the in the tag, in the title, in the description. You can just put fast search.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's why you have to use the navigate the JSC website. You have to just edit different.
I'm
Because
still making my way
in there.
around the new side. Trust me.
So just open that as a tab, and then open up the artist financials after, right below.
All right.
So Fast Reach has advised a board meeting to be held next week, Thursday at 9 a.m. The board will consider recommending to shareholders that the AG resolutions to facilitate raising additional equity investment by a rights issue and/or additional public offering of ordinary shares. The resolutions include increasing authorized share capital and approving a stock split. Let us go to the audited financials now, Jermaine. Audited accounts, yeah. You can scroll onto the balance sheet when it opens.
All right. You remember the page? I know
No,
you're a
I have
guy.
to no. So I just scroll onto the next page. I want to see what note it is. So it's note 19. So you can just drag the scroller down and just go down quicker.
19. Yep, that would be easier.
I'll explain as I can remember it because I think you misinterpreted what was said a while ago. So kind of zoom in right there to share capital part, right? So let's break this down. So when a company raises capital, in this case equity capital, its share capital amount goes up along with the addition of ordinary shares as well, right? So,
Yeah.
and further context, Fastwitch did not say they're going to do both an APO and a stock split. What they said was that they want to raise additional equity capital via either a rights issue or APO.
And or.
Yeah, because they can't do both, but they basically give you saying that it's one of the two options. And they had raised $200 million at IPO. That was before accounting for fees, and their current share capital before accounting for the treasury shares is $369 million. So all that means is that the company can only raise $130.38 million. Sorry, $130.38 million in order to stay in the junior market because What they explained earlier, Derby, was that the junior market has a share capital limit of $500 million. If you surpass that amount, the JSC is going to say, all right, why should you stay in the junior market? They give them a good enough reason, they let you stay. If not,
Mm.
and if you do stay, you have to pay main market fees, or you have to go to the main market altogether. The junior market gives you a tax break for 10 years. First registered in December 2017, so that's in their first phase of the junior market remission. And they said that they're looking to raise up to the maximum for the equity raise to actually stay in the junior market. So that is why I said it's $130.38 million in essence that they'll be targeting in the right slash in APO. And the company said they're looking to increase their authorized share capital. Reason being is because they are considering to do a stock split. A stock split, all a stock split does is that if you have, in case of fast right now, right? It's about $27. If the
Yeah,
company
man.
wants to do, if you want, if you 100 shares of fast right? And the company says it wants to do a 10-to-1 stock split. What would happen is that you now have 1,000 shares in fast but the stock price will go down to $2.70. So same principle basically, Jeremy, right? So
Yeah.
you have 100 shares of fast right now at $27.60, right? $2,763. A 10-to-1 stock split, all that would mean is that you know 1,000 shares with a stock price rate $2.76 to affect the stock split. And the thing is, go back to the Alti financials, Jermaine, and as you can see right there, Fast Switch's authorized share capital limit is 512 million shares, and they're 502 million shares right now. So even
Yeah.
if the company didn't do a stock split, in order to fit the equity raise, they still need to raise their authorized share capital to facilitate those creation of those additional new shares.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're likely to see that coming out of the meeting as well. Is that when they'd likely decide on what it will be raised to?
No, they're going
Or
to decide. They're going to decide what they're going to take. But the thing
yeah.
is, that's when we're actually going to see the result in their annual report, because remember, all companies whose financial year ended on December 31 and have submitted their audited financials already, their annual report is due by next week, Saturday as well. So they had a board meeting on Thursday. So they're just including their notes say AGM and just send it out to the JSC by the weekend, you understand? So we know
Okay.
by then what they'll be taking. But the thing is, back to Robert's question, the company did not say they're going to do both an APO and a stock split. A stock split doesn't dilute shareholders. So, for context, what a stock split does is increase the number of nominal shares and reduces the stock price, the same value. In the case of an APO or rights issue, if you don't participate, you get diluted at the end of the day. So there's that distinction right there in essence. Hope that kind of clarifies for anybody here who is watching.
Yeah, I hope so as well. I mean, let's see what they announce, what they say, because I mean that you have to kind of note what they're saying, right? It's
So I wrote an
when
article today, but I don't want to go to my article every second. But no, 'cause the thing is, and I write everything in my articles.
yeah,
And
man,
for
yeah, man, I get it.
context, in my article, I mentioned back in early this year, they had actually, well, not them, but the CEO had actually spoken to one of my colleagues in an article, and he said that they plan to actually grow their revenue by 8% this year. So go back
Ah,
to their financials, Jermaine.
same
If you
one
yeah, and scroll back up to scroll back up to revenue.
within the same section here, or just go back
No,
up
no,
to
no, you have to go back up
income
to profit
statement?
and loss income statement.
Okay. Um, Sorry, I'm working with two screens here.
All right. So right there. So kind of zoom in a little bit so they can see. So 2351 146 322. So if they plan to go by 8%, that means that they're targeting revenue base of $4.23 billion.
Mhm.
So that kind of shows you how bullish and aggressive Fast is for 2022. And remember, they have the Blue Emerald facility in Clarendon to develop the PVC pipes and also to repair the transformers for JPS. They're planning to build that super complex on Mullins Road, to host commercial plazas and so forth. And construction is still going on, so they're still supplying the construction sector as well. So and that's just showing you that the company has some serious ambitions and everything is going pretty
Yeah, I
well.
mean, I was, this was one of my stocks to watch at the start of the year. So it's good to see these things coming out.
In my
Out.
article today, I had actually mentioned how because of what the company is currently structured in terms of the major shareholders and everything, I
Mhm.
pointed out that the company could do a rights issue. You can just go back to the same. Uh, you can go back to the same audited financial. Not there. Go back to the link to open it. Yeah, shareholding information. So what I said in my article is that because the top 10 own 92.4%, it kind of begs the question, if they were to do a rest issue, if they did a rest issue,
Not a lot of shares, 38 million shares, man.
no, but let me give you a joke, Jermaine. Because the thing is, here's the thing with Fast they have a very large debt base. Like, if you look at the balance sheet, it's mainly funded by debt. Like, there are reverse document in
Yeah,
Mayberry.
I remember that was Chike's concern about them. They're dead.
The debt is very high. Like, they're growing, but the thing is, they couldn't use equity to grow heavily, so they're using debt.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, if the two primary owners, which is Mr. Foster and his wife, you know, wanted to cut down the debt balance, they'd have to forego the tax break, which would be kind of rough because this is actually the last year for the full 100% tax remission. So
Mhm.
that's just it. So you can kind of see that in the restitution case, they probably just find an investor, whoever the broker is. Estelle is one of the top brokers, but when Estelle be the broker for the rights issue, and they could just make it turn out some rights issue and give that particular party those new shares that are being announced for
Was
the
it was it JMB that did the IPO for them?
no SSL.
Okay, okay.
JMB did G
Okay, yes,
West.
stay there. Okay.
You got
JMB
me
did
there?
what?
JMB did G West. Fast Switch was done by SSL. Synco was done by NTB. VMIL was done by VM Wealth. Four
Okay.
IPOs all within the same month.
Yeah, man, I remember.
And
Man, this is not a lot of shares at all. 38 million.
but
Interesting.
that's the thing about it, Jermaine. So the thing is, that is why you see them have an APO because their question probably is who are they going to which broker they're going to find that is willing to actually take up their rights. That's impossible, but then that's why you kind of see why they say and or because in the case of Pulse, they said they're going to either a rights issue or an APO. Again, that's the flexibility, but they never committed themselves to anything else. You understand?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
And for Khalil asking the question about First Rock's share buyback, they've announced it to the JS and everybody, but when they actually start to buy back shares, uh, we will get
It's similar
disclosure.
where they need to have a disclosure first, right?
No, they had it already.
Okay, okay.
But I'm saying that the disclosure I'm speaking about is actually for when they actually decide to uh, actually buy back shares. So Epic Camera Property Fund, the Value Fund, they do
Mm-hmm.
buybacks every quarter and they announce when they do their buybacks, in what time frame and how they funded it. So and even Cape, same thing. They do buybacks, announce it to the JS and everything. So in the case of First Rock, when they do the buyback, or for any day, or any time when they do it, you can take the J's saying he will buy back shares and it's a day. You probably won't see the amount, but you actually will know. So we can just wait and see when First Rock is going to do the buyback because they have a band that they want to do. There are Thomas project they're doing a joint venture. They have the Costa Rica project. They have so many things going on. So for me to see a buyback is kind of a concern.
One second, I was checking some messages here. So we're gonna end in about 10 minutes, David. So I wanted to
Yeah,
talk about what's on the
RJ.
screen here. Yep, yep.
So I saw Miles' statement a while ago, and I was going to say, Miles, do you understand what is being proposed right there?
Explain. Explain
Open
it.
open the document first. Open the PDF. So what this is saying is that RJ is going to be acquiring in essence isn't the 34 Investments Limited, and 83 Investments Limited as a company will be dissolved. So the thing is, for those who are 1834 Investments Limited shareholders, they'll be
Mm-hmm.
happy, especially if they've been buying the shares in recent times when it's been under $1. You understand?
Yeah.
So,
Ah, okay, okay, I get
and the
you.
thing is, RGR is paid in both a combination of shares and cash. Keyword shares. What does that mean? Then when more shares being floated on the market for RGR as a
Mm-hmm.
result, which can actually depress the price.
All right, let's see where 1834 has been trading. Not a lot of volume trades for this stock.
No, not at all.
Wow. Imagine trying to get some. Wow. Okay.
My persons have been getting the
3,000.
last 4 months, I'm probably happy because it's a 52% premium they're offering.
Yeah. It sounds like to me. So usually in those cases, somebody has it in their portfolio, haven't touched it for years. Oh, this happened. Okay. All right. That's the kind of thing that will likely happen here. So it sounds to me, David, like we maybe need to go through this in a different video. I want you to just kind of go through all of this because it makes sense to do a separate video of it. So that's what we're gonna do.
So
I'm
let me just
call
give
with
you
you
a
next
brief
week to
synopsis
go
then.
through it.
Let me give you a brief synopsis.
Man, go ahead.
So RGR and L.E.A.R.N had a merger in 2016. However, the merger was whereby the L.E.A.R.N company Mia Limited, its assets were was what was transferred to the merger with RGR. So as a result, L.E.A.R.N shareholders got one RGR share for each L.E.A.R.N share they had at the time, L.E.A.R.N Company Limited. And
Mm-hmm.
the serving entity was 1834 Investments Limited. So first they were L.E.A.R.N shareholders from 2016 to now. They're shareholders of 1834 Investments Limited and also shareholders of RGR as well.
Okay.
So all that's happening in this case is that these two companies have shared directors. 1834 actually owns the property that Gleaner is at based on North Street, 7 North Street. 1834 Investment actually owns that. And I could put the assets in basically it's assets and investments across different places. So the thing is, they're saying it's going to bring cost synergies as in essence, RJ would actually own the building where Gleaner is based at right now. The cost around 834 would actually go down. So that's really it. And the reason why I said you have to be careful, Caleb, is because your RGR took a hit after their December results, which was kind of
Yep.
disappointing to
Yep.
some persons. Because in the case of RGR, we're still like, COVID is going
I
off,
remember
is
that.
everybody's supposed to be advertised and everything. And it's in the end, they need that, the
It was,
advertisers
it
didn't,
was as high as $4
yeah.
before, and it's been
And when results came out, it is
54 today. I mean, yeah.
now
So it's
17% year to date.
17%. Yeah.
And the reason why they say is because advertisers had supply chain issues, so they weren't willing to advertise, and of customers come to the store and not be able to actually purchase the goods.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, man. So I'm definitely going to do another video breaking this out, but continue, David, for giving us some context here.
No, so all that's going to happen in essence is that if you buy the share on Monday, for example, and it's at 85 cents same way, and
If you can get some.
yeah, but let's give an example. When the time comes for you to actually offer the shares up and everything, you would be paid $1.29 in cash if you decide to take the cash, or you'd be paying you'll be given 0.04 no sorry 0.403125 RGR share for every estate for investment share you actually give up. So they
Yeah.
give an
So
example a
let
while
me let
ago.
me let me show that what you're
Yeah,
talking
they
about
give an example
here.
right there.
Yeah.
So if you have 100 shares, you'll get paid 40, 41 shares of RGR, or you could get paid 129 Jamaican dollars, or a combination of both. And I checked the book value of 84 is limited a while ago for an article I wrote, and it was $1.24. So it's actually
So this cash payment, David, is not to be
it's a 4% premium to the
considered the
book value.
same it's not to be considered the same as a dividend, meaning if they pay you this cash, it's not going to have any taxes taken out.
The thing is, I can't say. I've never been involved in a takeover, like for example, like a red stripe or in those previous offers where how that actually occurred or worked out.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No derby, no.
Yeah.
So when you see Ethereum shares are going to be selling on Monday, the shareholders have this incentive to sell because the fact that this,
But
yeah, in that same release right there, Jermaine, right above, you see it says a number of significant shareholders in 1894% have indicated their support for the amalgamation.
yeah,
So as a
but here's
shareholder
the
in
thing.
1834, I wouldn't be selling because for one, the price is expected to go up. Why would I sell?
Exactly.
Especially,
I was going to say, if you hold on to the shares now, you are guaranteed to get close to a 50% gain whenever this is completed. There's
and the
no
thing
need for,
is, you could always sell in the market at call it 40 to 50% if the price
yeah.
goes up to that point.
Yeah, that is one of the things I'm thinking as well, because if I mean, there's always somebody willing to sell no matter no matter what. Somebody may be willing, if somebody's willing to pay the premium for it, and they can get the cash sooner, I'm sure persons will take that. But man, I mean, I'm gonna check Moneyline for the queue for this one here, because man, that's crazy to me. That stock doesn't trade at all.
No, but think about it, Jermaine. Remember, you're talking about, so remember, this is no longer the same Gleaner company limited. You have the Gleaner and the Star and all the publications under their business.
Hmm.
It is just, you know, in essence, the investments and the real estate assets. You understand?
Yeah.
So
I
there's no
mean,
incentive to really trade it because the thing is, they pay a dividend once every year. It's a pretty decent dividend yield and everything, but uh, and
I
yeah,
think, and as you and I know, David, sometimes investors are just happy to see any news. So I mean, that's the thing. All right, this
uh,
we're looking
yeah.
at
So I
the
see,
queue for 1834 as of right now.
yeah.
Only 10 orders to buy currently. Um, that's what you're seeing on the screen, and orders to sell, only 16 of those.
$1.30. We look at that,
Yep, yep, yep.
and the
So
thing is, even though you see Jeremy County saying probably might go to $2.
yeah.
That is, if somebody can actually,
But the thing is, though, assuming that these orders stay the same in the queue Monday morning, what you're essentially saying, if you are able to get these, right? If you're
yeah,
able to get these orders, this is what, almost 300,000 shares at a dollar. You're guaranteed almost 30%.
yeah.
So I mean, there's still that, assuming these shares are still available on Monday, because these
If
sellers
they
can
don't,
again.
if they cancel the orders,
Exactly. So there's that. That's the thing to look out for here. All right. And this is what I think David always talks about, is that you want to just, I mean, if you wait until after the news breaks, usually you're too late. Right. So let's see what happens on Monday morning for
but the
this
thing
one.
is, the company was auctioning for a discount, so you had that opportunity in essence.
Yeah. Yeah. But
But
the thing is
Jay,
that David, whenever,
persons are gonna sell because they want to sell and make profit. That's just the
yeah,
reality of the market. There's
and
always a
and
buyer, there's always a seller.
and to some, the sooner the profit, the better, right? So I mean, yeah. All right, so I think we've covered that. Again, guys, I'm gonna do a separate video on the RJR news next week. If David is available, you'll join me for it. But David is a very busy guy, so we have to
Yeah.
book him in advance. Are there any questions that we can take before we close off? I'm going to scroll through the chat. I'll ask, there are 53 persons here. Thank you so much. Please like the video. It really, really helps us to keep our content free. If you like it, it
I've gone
reaches.
through it already. I'm seeing new comments as yet, Jermaine.
Well,
We've answered all the comments that we need to answer.
yeah. I think we've answered most, if not all of them. Yeah, man. So I'll encourage persons as well to check out the interview we did with Tyrone Wilson from iCreate a few weeks back, and look out for the video that we're gonna have with him in a few weeks when the financials come out. Miles, I shared the Telegram link for you, so you can feel free to join us there. Kai is wondering what will happen to RJR share price. Let's see. We're definitely gonna watch that next week. And Roger is saying he wishes JFP shareholders would stop selling. I mean, no comment there. No comment for that one. All right, cool. So thank you guys so much. If you haven't done so yet, check out our stocks to watch video. We've done 2 videos for 2020. Be sure to check that out. Let me actually just share those with you now. Let me share the screen here. All right, so you want to check out the latest stocks to watch. We spoke about this a few weeks back. You want to look at the companies that we mentioned here, at least, review them to see if they are worth adding to your watch list as well. And we did the stocks to watch in January. That's at 6,000 views now, so thank you guys for that. So there's that. Also want to mention that you subscribe to our newsletter. We publish a newsletter each Wednesday. We've done 19 of them from the start of the year. Just type in your email and you'll get it at Monday morning at 6 a.m. You can view past issues if you've missed it. So feel free to just use this link here and just check them out. These are all the issues that we have released. If we have a special class, we will post them here as well. So this is when we had a free class on setting financial goals. So that was posted here, but it was only to those who subscribe to the newsletter or those who are part of the Telegram group. Also, you can check out our link tree for all of our links. So you can email us or request a presentation for your class if you're a student, or if you want us to do a corporate presentation, which is a paid service, you can check that out. And if you want to join our coaching program, you can sign up for that here. For everything else, it's just our links, and follow us on all social media platforms. We try to post content weekly. We don't necessarily post news. I'll have this video on Fridays to go through market updates, but I think it's safe to say where news is concerned, Kalila does a very good job of releasing news. So we don't release stock market news, right? And I've even seen Simon done a few of those posts on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, follow Stocks on the Rocks, follow Learn, Grow, Invest, follow Jack Knight too, and join us on Telegram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so as yet. I think that's it. So thank you guys so much. Really, really appreciate you being here. Remember to like the video. David, we'll catch up soon. All right.
All right.
Yeah, cool. All right. Just one final thing I wanted to share here is that we actually did a stock review of Tropical Battery. Actually, want to bring that back to your attention. Be sure to check that out here. Chike did that review. We did 2 videos about the Kingston Properties APO that is currently still out. If you're not familiar with the offer, watch this video first as prospectus review. Then you can watch our interview with Kevin Richards. Check those out now. Very, very good content to check out. We spoke about the JMMB share back. If you're wondering what's happening with that, we spoke about that here. This was 2 weeks ago. So you really just want to subscribe, turn on notifications so that you see when we go live. As you notice, we didn't announce this one. Sometimes we do that because we wanted to turn on all notifications so that you'll see the content whenever we release it. All right. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you next week where I'll go through that press release some more for the RJRN 1834 amalgamation. And we'll have the main event stock review the week after. And we're going to be coming out with some other content as well. There are some videos that we've been wanting to do, some more tutorials. So we'll be putting some of those out soon. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Telegram. All right.